Hasta la vista, baby.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I am very excited because today we are going to view Terminator 2 Judgment Day, as you can probably tell by the title. I'm very excited to watch this. There's only two things I know about Terminator 2. That it was made in 1991, or released in 1991. I shouldn't say made because they probably worked on that film probably since the late 80s and just came out in the 90s. The other thing that I know is I'll put a picture up of the actress right now. I don't know who this character is. She might be the replacement for the original Sarah Connor. I don't know the original actress's name. I could look it up real quick. Kind of excited. I'm kind of disappointed if it is a replacement for the person playing Sarah Connor, because I like it when actors reprise their roles as their characters. Maybe the original actress got busy and doing other stuff in the 80s. I don't know. She could turn into that person that Kyle was telling her about training her son. I'm thinking it's just Sarah Connor training that person. But that's the only screenshot that I've seen of this film. Like, I see that picture everywhere. This photo right now more than I have than the last photo of the film. Even though the last photo of the film is very famous, where she's looking out, just looking out in the distance in that Jeep. This one is more famous for some reason, at least to me. At least to me, because of how often that photo has been used in the just the culture's zeitgeist, I want to say. Do consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. And with that, let's actually get into Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
3 billion human lives ended on August 29th, 1997, called the War Judgment Day. They lived only to face a new nightmare, the war against the machines.
That made me jump.
Their mission, to destroy the leader of the human resistance. John Connor was set to strike at John himself when he was still a child.
I gotta say, I love the opening credits here. Still getting back the same way and still in the same fashion, too, which is no clothes.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Oh, that has to hurt.
Take it.
I was gonna say, it's always nice to hear George. Oh yes, put the glasses back on, and there you go. Okay, so there's another one. Okay, Guns N' Roses.
Not my mother, Todd.
That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to place the song, and that's Guns N' Roses.
Good morning, Dr. Silberman.
My question's going to be answered in time, but what is Arnold doing back, and what is this other Terminator, I assume?
Do you have a photograph of John? Do you mind if I keep this picture?
There was a guy here this morning looking for him, too.
I wouldn't worry about him.
Said that if I showed improvement after 6 months, you would transfer me to the minimum security wing and I could have visitors.
Alright, I want to know a little bit more about where her headspace is at.
I think if I put you in minimum security, you'll just try to escape again. I don't see any choice but to recommend to the review board that you stay here for another 6 months.
You don't know what you're doing!
Model citizen.
Well, you kind of lied to her about the whole 6 months thing.
Do you know this guy?
Nah, I don't know. Hey, man, there's this cop scoping for you. Check it out.
So the Terminator, I think it's made to look like the Terminator's after him. Something in my gut tells me that he's not actually after him.
Get down.
Okay, so apparently they're not made from the same metals or materials. Clearly, but they can do that. He likes windows. Did he hit his head on the pavement? Kinda looked like he did. Such a cool angle. That's awesome. That might be thumbnail worthy. Seen that too, and I didn't know what film that was from. From this one, the burning tire.
You are a Terminator, right?
Yes, I'm a cybernetic organism.
To be fair, if I was his age, I'd probably do the same thing too. Poke, poke.
Who sent you?
You did. A T-1000. Advanced prototype, liquid metal.
Are you alright?
They're gonna get murdered right there.
The dog's really barking.
What's the dog's name?
What's wrong with Wolfie? I can hear him barking. Wolfie's fine, honey.
Your foster parents are dead.
But he didn't kill the foster dad until now. That is really, really sick. I like that. That's awesome.
You're telling me that this thing can imitate anything it touches?
Knives and stabbing weapons.
She was with this crazy ex-Green Beret guy. Then there were some other guys. She'd shack up with anybody she can learn from so she could teach me how to be this great military leader. And nobody believed her. Not even me. You know, fuck you! She's a priority to me! Let me go! Did you call moi a dipshit? Grab this guy. I can't believe he called me a
Power's gone to his head. But I can't say that, you know, that's not how a kid would act when he finds out he's got, you know, sudden extreme power.
No!
And they were just trying to help.
We're gonna kill that guy!
Of course, I'm a Terminator.
John needs to learn that your actions have consequences. And what you say to people matter when you're talking to the Terminator.
You just can't go around killing people.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Because you can.
Why?
Because you just can't.
It's an interesting choice. Like when officers are walking in the hall, officers or people at the mental institution, there's literally no music. There's just the sound, which makes it more eerie. It's very clever sound design. Broke his nose.
Broke my arm.
There are 215 bones in the human body. That's one.
Just put up your hand and say, I swear I won't kill anyone.
I swear I will not kill anyone.
Well, he said he would not kill anyone. He didn't say you wouldn't give him a flesh wound or something like that.
He'll live. Come with me if you want to live.
I forget what model he said he was. The guy chasing John is a T-1000, but I don't know what Arnold is. That's kind of cool. You know, they're shooting him in the chest, and it doesn't seem to be working, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe that's how they defeat him. He stretches out too far. Maybe he can't re-stretch, I guess, is what I'm thinking. I don't know how to describe it better than that.
You cannot risk yourself, even for me. Do you understand?
What's wrong with your eyes?
Nothing.
So what's your story?
Yeah, fill her in. Oh, I thought maybe they were gonna elaborate a little bit more on exactly why he's here, besides just protecting John.
I have detailed files on human anatomy.
Makes you a more efficient killer, right?
Correct.
Can you learn stuff that you haven't been programmed with?
The more contact I have with humans, the more I learn.
So what is the overall goal here? I know it's to protect John, but are we seriously gonna protect John up until 2029?
You want to shine them on, it's hasta la vista, baby.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Need to know how Skynet gets built.
The man most directly responsible is Miles Bennett Dyson.
Why him?
In a few months, he creates a revolutionary type of microprocessor. The system goes online on August 4th, 1997. Becomes self-aware at 2:14 a.m. Eastern Time, August 29th.
It actually gave a date and time.
It launches its missiles against the targets in Russia. Because Skynet knows that the Russian counterattack will eliminate its enemies over here.
One thing about my mom, she always plans ahead.
I would imagine so after 1984.
Excellent. Why do you cry?
You know, when it hurts.
Pain causes it?
No. It's different. It's when there's nothing wrong with you, but you're hurt anyway.
This machine was the only one who measured up. In an insane world, it was the sanest choice.
I like that we got some of her insights into what's going on with that monologue. It really helps us to understand where her head's at. I mean, really, because what's the alternative? There's really no alternative to that situation. Okay, that is some horrifying imagery. We're in a dream. I want to say that we're in Zara's dream right now. This will happen in 2029. Yep, dream. Don't tell me she went out to do it alone.
There's no fate but what we make for ourselves. She's gonna blow him away!
Yeah, she's gonna go kill Miles Dyson.
Danny!
Distance was her best friend. But actually seeing someone's face is actually a lot harder to kill somebody when you see their face and know that they have a wife and child too.
Dyson listened while the Terminator laid it all down. Skynet, Judgment Day. It's not every day that you find out you're responsible for 3 billion deaths.
No one must follow your work.
Chip.
The CPU from the first Terminator.
Now. Now would be good.
Now? Gibbons!
The silent alarm's been tripped.
Well, you do have the Terminator. Why not use him?
Personal entry code for the lab, it may still work.
Let me try mine.
Let me try mine.
One more barrel, 2 more minutes.
Police?
How many?
All of them, I think.
I'll take care of the police.
Hey, wait, you swore!
Trust me.
Yeah, he could have killed him, but he didn't.
Just bite.
Simple. Just smash it. Why not? Okay, how's this gonna go?
In the clean room, there's no way out of there.
I don't know how much longer I can hold this.
She didn't have to do anything because he, when you die, if you're holding something, I would imagine you drop it just because your hand drops because of gravity. So, that explains that.
I'll be back.
Okay, so they did drop that line.
Okay, drop him! Go! Get out.
Okay, you jumped without a parachute? Guess he was low enough to the ground, I guess. Ooh. That was sweet. I wonder if it's a requirement. They kind of spoke to it earlier. In order to get the copy, you have to kill the person that you just copied. I know they spoke about it earlier in the movie, but that's starting to become a conclusion because every time he changes. Well, no, that's not the case because he let the pilot go, so never mind.
Step on it!
This is the vehicle's top speed.
I can get out and run faster than this.
I don't think you can run about 60 miles an hour. That'll slow him down for a bit. That's for sure. Similar thing from the fire from the first movie, just in blue. I like that. Ah, you can freeze. Makes sense. He's partly liquid metal.
Hasta la vista, baby.
He's forming back together. Man, I love this. 30, 40 seconds for him to form back together, and he's pretty much back together at this point.
Come on, Mom. Come on.
You know, as I think about it, there must be a ton of things running through the Terminator's head about, you know, whether or not they can actually escape with her being injured like that. So we know who ultimately wins in the fight, but what makes Terminator prevail is my question. Yeah, that's gonna put an end to the Terminator. And, oh, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. That's iconic right there. The finger wag. I wonder if that's where this came from. If he throws in the chip, doesn't the Terminator no longer cease to exist?
There's one more chip.
He gotta destroy himself.
Cannot self-terminate.
Well, I was gonna say too bad I didn't, but I haven't seen the rest of them. But a lot of people will be like, yeah, it should have.
I know now why you cry. But it's something I can never do. Goodbye.
A Terminator can learn the value of human life. Maybe we can too.
Alright guys, that was the Terminator, and there was one thing I wanted to look up for that, and that was who exactly was, who was the actress that played Sarah Connor, because to me, it seemed like a totally different actress from what I could. To me, it was like a completely different person. So I wanted to make sure it was the same actress. I mean, her build was different. Her voice to me was different. To me, it was different. I don't know if it was different for anybody else, but I don't know what happened to her voice. Her voice wasn't as, I guess the term would be warm or gentle or soft. It was more tough, kind of gritty and stuff like that. But I would suspect after 10 years of doing that, you know, your physical appearance and your voice might change a little bit. Because over time, your voice does change as you grow. But given, you know, 84 to 91, I wouldn't suspect it to change all that much, but it really did. You know, it made me question throughout the film whether or not we were watching the same actress, but we were. So, I mean, that was a real shock to me. I don't know if I like the changes or not to Sarah Connor's character, because it's just a shock and a half, I guess you could say, that I wasn't prepared for. Now, if anyone asks me, you know, is there any type of movie that made you think differently about a character, I would definitely have to say Sarah Connor because of how much changed between the first and the second movie. Also, one thing that bothered me, and still kind of does bother me, is John is not he doesn't look 10 years old to me. He didn't at the time of I thought we were in present day, so I thought we were in 1991, and so I thought he was like what, 7 years old, and the kid does not look 7 to me at all. So that bothered me. But when I went back to edit the film, I realized that this is set in 1995, but this kid to me still doesn't look like he's 10. He looks like he's 13 or 14 years old. 12 maybe, but definitely 13 or 14. And so, I mean, that bothered me. Just the overall appearances of different characters bothered me. Of the two main cast there, Arnold, he looked the same. I didn't have a problem with it. Still kind of acted the same. So I had no comments about Arnold. But yeah, really, those two actors really shocked me in just, how much how much it had changed. Let's talk about, I want to talk about real quick the plot for this movie, in which I really do like that John basically sent a new Terminator back, and then also kind of reprogrammed him to protect him as a teenager. I thought that was that's a kind of a great idea. I kind of like that idea, and I like the idea that they had the arm from the previous Terminator, so it is a different Terminator, which I do like and I don't like at the same time. I don't know. I like it and I don't like it. It's hard to explain. I don't know what I mean that I like it and I don't like it, because I really hadn't really thought about it. So it's very, very interesting to me to see that. Also, let's talk about the T-1000. I said, I gave my prediction of how the T-1000 would die, but they're right in the fact that he would die most likely by lava because of how hot it gets. I do really like that, because I thought freezing them might not be enough in the back of my mind, but I was happy to see we went from extreme cold to extreme hot. So I really do like that. I really do like the music in this. I mentioned it in the commentary. Guns N' Roses, George Thorogood. So this, and the reason why I like it so much is I listen to a lot of 70s and 80s rock. So to me, it just it basically gained brownie points from with me, just because I listen to that music all the time. I'm basically just a big 80s hairband guy, so that's really nice to see. I like the fact that we got more about how, or not necessarily how they took over, but how things progressed as far as them being, when they became self-aware and started, this war, so to speak. That's the other thing too. I like that Miles Dyson was in it, that we actually have somebody to kind of look at and say this is, where it started, because oftentimes the way the invention usually works is that we the last person to bring it to the mass market is the person that usually gets credit, but you gotta imagine that tons of people worked on this, not just Dyson himself, but he's the one that kind of finalized the plan. It's kind of like, Henry Ford, I would imagine. He basically brought it into fruition to mass produce cars. And so he gets credit for that. But there are a lot of people before him that was working on how to produce cars. And he was just the first one to do it on a massive scale and, send it out to folks. Progression, it's not just one person that brings something to the masses, but it's over generations that something actually comes to market for the masses. So I really like that aspect, and I really like them saying, we have to destroy your work. You just stopping it doesn't, won't stop the progress, because there is, truth in what I just said, that somebody else will continue it, just like Ford continued with motor vehicles. So that's kind of interesting to me, to have that, that little nugget in there, if you really, kind of pay attention and stuff like that. Going back to the T-1000 for a second, he seemed a little bit more robotic than the Terminator did from the first film, and I kind of like that. I think he spoke maybe once or twice, maybe, but I could be wrong about that. The other thing is the finger wag, which was kind of interesting in itself, because I think that came from this. At least I think that started in the mid-90s. So I'd be kind of curious to see, that kind of thing again, or kind of get more information on that to see if that's actually where it started. I really like the shots in this. They had some great shots. There's 3 shots that I really liked, and 3 shots that I thought of for the thumbnail. And one was the current thumbnail, which is, the big explosion after he saves John from the highway. The second one was they're at the end, well, both of them are at the end, where Sarah shoots the other Sarah when the T-1000 is trying to get John to believe that it's his mom. So, because to me it was the way it was, lined up was so good you could do a rack focus on that, and I believe they did. I'd have to go back and look at the film, but I think if they didn't do it, they could have done it by the way the actors were standing. They could have done a rack focus if they wanted to. That was also going to be one of the thumbnails, and the other shot was the Terminator coming off that conveyor belt, kind of like a wheel, like you see in a clock. That was an awesome shot that I thought for half a second was going to be the thumbnail too, and I just really like those shots. Other shots that I had mentioned are in there as well that I thought were cool, and I just briefly mentioned it. You know, I had seen parodies of, you know, why can't I kill this person? And the Terminator just goes, why? I had seen that and heard of that before, but it was nice to know where that actually came from. And I really do like the understated, you know, it's not really noticeable unless you're paying attention, I'll be back. So that was, you know, really nice. It wasn't like, you know, it didn't necessarily call your attention to it or anything. You just had to be paying attention for it. So that was kind of nice. I don't like it when movies or TV shows nowadays make a big deal out of saying, you know, one famous line and stuff like that. Like, you know, wait for the right moment to say it. They say it when it is. At least in this movie, they say it when it is appropriate to say the line instead of just throwing it out there. So I really do like that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, there's a lot more to talk about with this film, but I think that's gonna do it for now. If there's anything that I didn't cover, and trust me, that's a lot, that you want my thoughts or opinions on, do let me know, and I will respond to those comments, just so that you kind of get an idea of where my head is at on the questions that you ask. But with that, guys, I think that's going to do it for this video. If you would not mind, please leave a like, comment, and do subscribe, as it does help the channel grow, and we are a growing channel day by day. So with that in mind, guys, I will leave you guys to it. So thanks, guys. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Thank you, guys.